άντρας ή γυναίκα.
The end can be a new and often better beginning. That's the promise of the operatives of Alps, who hire themselves out as substitutes for the recently deceased. They're play-acting the roles of dead daughter, lover, spouse, and reenacting precious memories for the grieving relatives. It's droll, it's deadpan, it's as black as pitch. A portrait of the netherworld from Greek director Giorgos Lanthimos.
Εγώ δεν ξέρω.
Ούτε εγώ.
Τον Prince.
Ποιον?
Prince.
Δεν μπορείς να αντικαταστήσεις τον Prince.
Γιατί?
Ο Prince δεν έχει πεθάνει.
Έχει πεθάνει ο Prince.
Ο Prince ζει.
Συγγνώμη.
Peter, director Giorgos Lanthimos is kind of the laughing mortician of Greek culture, isn't he? He did Dogtooth, and now this is even weirder and wilder in a way.
I've got to say, I didn't find it weirder and wilder. I found it like Dogtooth, but about 30% as weird and wild, if I'm absolutely honest. I love Dogtooth, and I thought that Giorgos Lanthimos was an extraordinary figure who just sort of burst in on us. Dogtooth was his breakthrough rather than his debut, and he was the figurehead of basically a kind of new Greek wave with movies like Attenborough, in which he also acted. And this has what I can already identify as all of his sort of mannerisms, kind of deadpan stuff, alienated, difficult sex, dysfunctional mannerisms in a dysfunctional universe. But I've got to confess that where in Dogtooth I found that absolutely compelling, I sort of suspected that in Alps he was coming up with the same ingredients and the same recipe, and I wondered how much it was sort of telling me, really. I think sometimes directors on the festival circuit slightly drink the Kool-Aid a bit. They start to realise what it is that's getting the reviews and they start reproducing it. And I wondered if he wasn't slightly doing that with Alps. That may just be me.
It's just you. I thought it was absolutely fantastic.
Did you?
I thought it was, first time I saw it, I thought it was a total black comedy. Second time I saw it as a tragedy. I think it's perfectly realised. And you're right, there's something self-regarding about it because they're playing roles and it's about trying to find a role that fits. And replaying these precious moments and reading the lines, and I just thought it was I thought it was superb, and it worked for me. But I agree that it's a very hard sell. It's not an easy film to sit through. Catherine, what did you make of it?
Yeah, I thought I can see that in a certain mood it would be comedy, and in a certain mood it would be tragedy. I kind of wanted it to be a bit funnier. It reminded me a lot of the Evelyn Waugh book, The Loved Ones, about the pet,
the business of death.
Right. And I kind of wanted it to be a bit more like that, but probably that's just an imposition onto it. I sort of know what you mean, Peter.
Maybe I just didn't have the software to run it. Maybe the software wasn't installed and I couldn't quite run it. What did you think of the gymnast scenes at the beginning and the end?
Well, the gymnast scenes did. I mean, there was so much about this film that completely left me in the dark. And I saw it in Venice last year, and I went in not knowing anything about it. For the first half, you're thinking, what on earth is going on? Why are these people acting badly? And then the penny drops. The gymnast scene was strange because you're not sure whether that's supposed to be a happy ending or not. Or are they still acting a role? Or where does that sort of fit in?
See, for me too, I felt that it was a sort of mannerism, that he'd come in and say, with a hardcore, badass, jarring mannerism to make us all wake up. There's something very nasty is going down. But I didn't quite get how it was meshing in with the rest of the movie, really. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's
See it again.
I think you've seen a lot of freaky stuff at the movies, Peter, and maybe
you've got the jaded appetites of
I don't know.
80-year-old.
I didn't find myself jaded. I found myself slightly alienated in a way that I didn't expect to and shouldn't have done. So it's just me, I imagine.
Τι έγινε?
Δεν μπορούσα να πω κάτι που έπρεπε.
Τι δεν μπορούσες να πεις?
Παππού, κοίτα μια ωραία κούπα για να πίνεις τον καφέ σου ή το τσάι σου.
Και ο παππούς τι έκανε?
Στεναχωρήθηκε.
Και εσύ?
Εγώ τίποτα.